I kissed someone else at a party last month. What started as one stupid moment turned into weeks of secret meetings and lies that finally caught up with me. Hi, I'm Ashley, 28F. I've been with Connor, 30M, for 4 years, engaged for 8 months. We were supposed to get married next spring. The kiss happened at my friend Jenna's birthday party. Connor had been working late again, the third weekend in a row. I'd been feeling invisible in our relationship for months. He came home exhausted, fell asleep on the couch, and barely looked at me anymore. I told myself I was just going to have one drink and leave early. Then I met Oliver. He was visiting from out of town, charming and funny in ways that made me remember what it felt like to be seen. When he asked about the ring on my finger, I found myself saying Connor and I were figuring things out. The lie came so easily it scared me. When Oliver kissed me in Jenna's kitchen, I didn't pull away. I kissed him back like I was drowning and he was air. I should have stopped there. Should have gone home, felt guilty for a few days and moved on. Instead, I gave him my number. We started texting daily. He was staying in town for work, and we began meeting for coffee, then lunch, then long walks where I complained about feeling neglected. Oliver listened in ways Connor hadn't in months. He asked about my day, my dreams, things that mattered to me. The emotional affair felt more dangerous than any physical one could have been. I was sharing pieces of myself with someone who wasn't Connor, creating intimacy that belonged to my relationship but was happening outside of it. We kissed 3 more times over 2 weeks. Never more than that, but each time felt like another step away from the life I'd built. I started lying about where I was, deleting texts, and checking my phone constantly. The guilt was eating me alive, but I couldn't seem to stop. Connor noticed I was distant. When he asked what was wrong, I blamed work stress. When he suggested we spend a weekend together, I said I needed space. I was pushing him away while running toward someone else. Last Tuesday, Jenna called me crying. She'd seen Oliver and me together at a coffee shop downtown. She'd known Connor since college and couldn't keep quiet anymore. I begged her not to say anything. Promised I would end things with Oliver and work on my relationship. But Jenna said she couldn't look Connor in the eye knowing what I was doing behind his back. She gave me 2 days to tell him myself. I spent those days in agony, rehearsing what I would say. How do you explain that you've been emotionally cheating for weeks? That you kissed someone else multiple times? That you've been lying about where you are and who you're with? When Connor came home Friday night with takeout from our favorite restaurant, trying to surprise me, I broke down. I told him everything. About Oliver, about the kissing, about feeling ignored and lonely in our relationship. Connor just sat there, the food getting cold between us. He didn't yell or throw things. He just looked at me like he was seeing a stranger. He asked if I loved Oliver. I said no, but I wasn't sure he believed me. I wasn't sure I believed myself. Connor packed a bag that night and went to stay with his brother. He said he needed time to think. The ring I'd been wearing for 8 months felt like it weighed 1,000 pounds. That was 3 weeks ago. He hasn't been home since. Moment turned into weeks of secret meetings and lies that finally caught up with me. He's gone. Connor moved out completely while I was at work last week. He left the engagement ring on the kitchen counter with a note saying he'd be back for the rest of his things when I wasn't home. I've been sleeping in our bed alone, surrounded by empty spaces where his books used to be, where his clothes used to hang. The silence is deafening. Oliver stopped responding to my text the day after Connor left. When I called, he said he thought we were just having fun and didn't realize how serious things had gotten. He flew back to his home state without saying goodbye. I'd thrown away 4 years for someone who disappeared the moment things got complicated. The worst part isn't being alone. It's watching how the truth spread through our friend group like a poison. Jenna feels terrible for being the one to force my hand, but she was right to tell Connor. Most of our mutual friends have taken his side. They see me as the one who broke up the golden couple, the one who cheated on a good man. Connor's sister blocked me on social media. His mother, who used to call me her future daughter-in-law, hasn't spoken to me since. I've lost his family along with him. My own family is disappointed but trying to be supportive. My mom keeps asking if I'm eating enough, sleeping enough. My dad just looks sad when he sees me. They don't understand how I could have been so reckless with something so important. I started seeing a therapist 2 weeks ago. She's helping me understand that the problems in my relationship with Connor were real, but the way I handled them was destructive. I should have talked to him about feeling neglected instead of seeking attention elsewhere. I've been thinking about why I did it. Connor and I had fallen into a routine where we were more like roommates than partners. We stopped really seeing each other, stopped making effort. But instead of fighting for us, I started looking for someone who would make me feel special again. I wanted to feel desired, important, worth someone's time and attention. Oliver gave me that feeling, but it was built on lies and betrayal. It wasn't real intimacy. It was just ego-feeding. I've been applying for jobs in other cities. Staying here means running into Connor at the grocery store, seeing our friends at restaurants we used to go to together, driving past the apartment we were supposed to share as husband and wife. Some days I wake up and forget for a split second that he's not here. Then reality hits like a physical blow. I'm not the same person I was before this happened. I used to think of myself as honest, loyal, someone who would never cheat. Now I know I'm capable of things I never imagined. It's changed how I see myself in ways that feel permanent. I'm learning to live with the consequences of my choices. Connor deserved better than what I gave him. Our relationship had problems, but betrayal was never the answer. I don't know if I'll ever forgive myself for choosing momentary attention over lasting love. I don't know if Connor will ever be able to trust someone fully again because of what I did to him.